That's crazy.
The hate is pure. The hate is pure.
Take a damn out of bio for Paul George.
Jimmy Butler.
For it. It's a parade inside my city. Yeah. Cleveland, this is for you.
All right, y'all, let's get it, man. Welcome to the Throwdown episode 143. I'm your host, Ben Brandon from the block. Whoever want to call me, man. Here with another episode. Hey, man, it's been a whole lot of free agency news for the past week and this week as well, because, you know, free agency is here. NBA free agency is here. Hey, man, Champ, what's up, bro? How you been?
It's good, man. 91 degrees down here in Columbus, Georgia. Getting hot as a 6-footer down here. So, I mean, hey, enjoying the heat. Don't bake out here. Stay hydrated, man. Drink your Gatorade. Drink your water. Stay away from that. Stay away from that Crown. Stay away from all that other stuff. Drink your water, all right?
For sure. For sure. Yo, Luis, what's good? What's going on?
What's up, man? Happy Lakers still suck day. Happy JJ Redick got as much coaching experience as me day. Happy Bronny James is going to take up all the playing time and ruin your development day. Happy free agency, guys.
Hey, man, he's back. Welcome back, Luis. Welcome back.
What, bro?
First time in here. Love the energy. Appreciate that, Angel. Appreciate that. Okay. Kieran, what's going on?
I'm good, bro. I'm just chilling. Can't wait to play basketball again. It's been a while.
Oh yeah, for sure. OJ, what's going on, man?
What's good, y'all? Happy to be here. Thanks for having me on, Brandon. I look forward to educating you guys for free.
That's wild. That is wild,
bro.
That's wild. And
it's something like Kenny Dior would say.
That's great. And last but certainly not least, we got Casual. We got another one coming too. Casual, what's going on?
Paul George does not count to be a top 5 player in none of these positions. I'm looking through everything. And actually, funny enough, I'm just now finding out this nigga qualifies as a power forward as of last year.
What?
Wait, really? Yeah. I thought
Kawhi
was he's still not top 5. That's crazy.
That's nasty.
That's great. That's nasty.
Boy, a power forward.
Yeah. But hey, man, let's get straight into it, man. Speaking of Paul George, he's agreed on a 4-year, $212 million maximum contract with the Philadelphia 76ers. He's gonna be teaming up with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. I just want to hear from y'all what y'all thoughts on Paul George and how y'all think the 76ers gonna do next year.
You know what's a shame? They're trying to finish up the process with 2 very, very injury-prone players at this point in time. Because Paul George, they predicted him and Kawhi to go out there and just wreck the league out there in Los Angeles with the Clippers, and they did as much as I did with my diet, not nothing. So guess what? It's just an exercise of futility. If you really ask me, and this might be a hot take, the best Paul George that we saw was in Indiana, because when he really went to OKC, first round exit. When you put him with a superstar like a Kawhi Leonard, although a lot of things were going against him as far as the Kawhi injuries and the injuries to himself, they came up empty as well, except for outside of the bubble. So when you really think about a lot of how Paul George has been hopping around, he's pretty much done nothing except for when he was in Indiana. My thing is this. I give it 2 more years and they're going to stop the process at this point in time because guess what? Hey, this is their last-ditch effort. They're basically trying to do with Paul George what they didn't do with Jimmy Butler. They're trying to find a great two-way player to go along with Joel Embiid, which they made a mistake by getting rid of Jimmy Butler in the first place and letting him walk a free agency and letting him go to their conference in Miami. So they're basically trying to replace him. And like I said, Paul George is more injury prone, just like Embiid is, and it's going to be interesting to see how this turns out. But I give it 2 more years after this last-ditch effort. And, hey, after that, I can see the process being over with, especially with the age of Paul George at this point in time. But I'll let y'all decide on that.
Okay, simple as that. Louise, what's your thoughts?
Even with Paul George signing, I still feel the same way about Philly as I did the past couple years. They're only as good as healthy as Embiid is, and only as far as he'll take them. Another thing that does scare me is when we see them add another star, or another caliber of a player like a James Harden or like a Paul George now. I feel like it tends to stunt the growth of Tyrese Maxey. I've noticed that when another player gets involved, Tyrese Maxey is usually the one to take the L and take the back seat. And Tyrese Maxey has made such a big growth that I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of this signing, but I mean, I've been wrong plenty of times, so we just got to see this upcoming season. But not really a fan at the moment.
All right, bet. OJ, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, they have the best big 3 in the league right now. So, I mean, you guys could debate that in my opinion, but really, you guys have summed up the biggest points, the most relevant point, which is in health. Health is the only thing that matters, bro. If those guys can stay healthy, PG and Embiid, in the playoffs, bro, they have a chance legitimately of dethroning Boston and going to the finals. But that is a big if, bro. Given their history, that is a massive if. Now, as far as the trade, was it a good trade? Well, let's address it. If you're Philly, you kind of have to do it, bro. You kind of have to make a big splash to communicate to Embiid that we're doing our best to surround you with pieces, bro. You have to, otherwise, he's gonna eventually walk. And you're gonna give PG like $60 million when he's 38. That's horrible, but you gotta eat that, bro. You kind of have to do that, bro. You kind of have to go all in and see what happens. So I understand it from a management perspective. And for any other NBA team, I think it would have been a bad trade, but for them, they kind of have to go all in, bro. And part of it is to keep Embiid as well, and then go from there. So, I mean, am I a fan of the trade? Yeah, because you kind of had to do it. So that's what I said on that.
All right, go ahead, Karen.
Sorry, I was on the phone. Is it still talking about Paul George?
Yeah, Paul George. Yeah.
I said this before. I personally don't believe that the Sixers will ever get out of the second round. It's not really been the roster constructed around Embiid. It's really Joel Embiid itself. Like, Joel Embiid has never been healthy in any playoff run since he's entered the league. And you just added another injury-prone player to that roster. So, I mean, yeah, on paper, they're really good, but how much time are they actually going to be on the court? And I'm really thinking to Philly, I'm like, man, is it time to really trade for Joel Embiid? Because if he's not on the court, what's the point of just investing all this money to these players? I just don't know. I really don't know.
Okay, all right. Casual.
The Bucks fan is fuck Philadelphia. Praying on a downfall.
Yeah, exactly.
What the fuck?
Out of nowhere, that's crazy.
Go Knicks.
Let Let another ligament fall off of Joel Embiid's kneecap, and
What the fuck?
Oh my God!
and we'll see y'all. We'll see y'all next
Yeah,
year.
casual on timing tonight.
Hey, he
Is
really said we'll see y'all next year, bro.
Is Caswell
That's
a
crazy.
Celtics fan? Is he a Celtics fan?
No,
Bucks
no, Bucks.
Casual Bucks fan.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I got a follow-up question. It's getting negative a little bit. Joel Embiid a fraud? Is he a fraud?
No.
The thing is, he was having his greatest season thus far before he got hurt. He was having his greatest season thus far, and he won the MVP just last year. The thing is this: there's been a lot of attempts to get him complimentary players. It just has failed. Ben Simmons was drafted to go along with him. That failed. James Harden, that failed. I mean, them failing to keep Jimmy Butler and opting for Tobias Harris. That failed. Now this is a last-ditch effort with Paul George.
Don't forget Al Horford.
Yeah, Al. That we knew that was doomed anyway. That was doomed. But yeah, it's not that he's a fraud or that the Philadelphia 76ers are a fraud. It's just that a lot of these moves, especially with James Harden and Ben Simmons, they failed. So I mean, if you really look at it, Joel Embiid was arguably about to have the greatest MVP season that we've seen since Wilt Chamberlain. So, hey, man, big ups to him, because if he hadn't got hurt, that is, it would have been interesting to see how far they would have gone. So, yeah, Tyrese Maxey coming into his own, playing his best he ever played. Joel Embiid having this historically great season, and it just came crashing down with those injuries, unfortunately. He's not a fraud.
No, like the thing is that like Joel Embiid, as I said before, it's like the thing, like he's had like good rosters around him. It's that it's really himself. Like he's always been injured in the playoffs. Like maybe one series that he's not healthy in. Like
I think it's an actual fact that every series he's played in, he's never been healthy.
Like he's legit never been healthy, and like we know when Joel Embiid's like healthy, he's like a top 3 player. He's shown moments in the playoffs that like he could actually be really good. But
he was healthy in 2019.
I mean,
and 2020.
What's up?
He was healthy in 2019 and 2020.
Or 2020, yeah, he was healthy. 2019 he was not.
Yeah, he was. In 2019, when Jimmy Butler was on that roster, yes, he was.
He had an illness and he had an injured knee. It's well done.
Oh, okay. All right. The last 2 games. Okay. I guess. Yeah. No, he didn't have nothing going on with the knee, but I know the illness.
Yeah, but 2021 he had a torn meniscus. 2022, like he broke his face. Like what the hell?
His entire face is broken. Yeah.
Like 2023, like he hurt his knee again.
Yeah, he was a Phantom of the Opera.
I mean, if he was healthy against the Celtics, like they might beat the Celtics last year.
I mean, no.
I think with Philly, it's just a case of being unlucky.
It's really not though. Like we're acting like the Boston Celtics weren't like literally supposed to lose to that Philadelphia 76ers team that was up in that series in 2023 with James Harden and himself. And that had little to do. And I stand on this, and I'll die on this hill. Joel Embiid being hurt is not the reason that they lost to the Boston Celtics. Joel Embiid being afraid to post up a 6'3" Marcus Smart is the reason why they lost that series. Joel Embiid not having the discipline and the wherewithal of understanding that taking a 3 in clutch moments rather than getting down low and getting a high percentage shot up is more impactful. That's the reason they lost to the Boston Celtics. The Philadelphia Celtics. I don't disagree with you guys that there are things that happen that are outside of his control that happens, but he does have control of things that he does on the court, the shots he takes, his playmaking progressing, his rebounding tenacity. Those things are things that he can control.
Do you think
injury or no injury?
Do you think part of like why he's not posting up and like taking the 3 is that he's like afraid to get injured in the post? Like
if you're being guarded, if a team is literally daring you to post up and putting a 6'3" guard on you,
you take that
even if you take that every time. I don't care. Whether you're scared of it, you get scared of getting hurt being guarded by Robert Williams. You get scared of getting hurt being guarded by Al Horford, Jason Tatum, even Marcus Smart. No, nigga, you go at him. You go at him.
Yeah, for
Baby.
sure.
I mean, like, he's still a top 5 player regardless, but like, he's not like the people that have like Joel Embiid as the best player in the NBA.
Yeah, but he's a top 5 player because of his regular season dominance.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, if he had postseason dominance, he'd easily be number 1.
If he replicates what he did against the New York Knicks this past postseason, along with his regular season dominance, and he's just slightly healthy. Not only do I think he will be unquestioned as the best player in the NBA, he would win a championship.
Right.
It just gets so annoying because you see, like, he has like quite a few games where he's dominated, but it's not consistent, if that makes sense. Like, he's not consistent when it comes to the playoffs. Like, he's had games where it's like, holy shit, like, he looks great, and then the next game in the playoffs, it's like, bro, what the fuck?
I've been saying for the last 2 years. I've been saying for the last 2 years they should trade Joel Embiid.
Miami.
Sure. All right.
It's not because
All right, y'all. So yesterday, man, me and Louise, we was excited about this one. Chris Paul to the San Antonio Spurs, man.
Yes.
Hey, 1 year deal. I love this move. I don't know about y'all, but Louise, I'm gonna let you start off, bro. I'm gonna let you start.
I love this move, not because I feel like all right, so I love this move specifically for Stephon Castle because I am a UConn fan, and I watched Stephon Castle at UConn, and he has everything. He has everything to be a very good NBA player. But the one thing I always felt like he really needed to work on was his passing. He's not the greatest passer. He can pass, but to be able to learn from CP3 and, with San Antonio going out to get CP3, and we know how CP3 can develop guys, and his mentorship goes a long way. like we're seeing it with SGA, of Devin Booker's passing since being with CP3, like it's gotten like way better. So I'm excited to see Stephon Castle like really grow as a really good NBA player. And on top of that, you're pairing him with Wemby. Like that's the perfect guy. Like that's the perfect guy to practice your passing on. Lob it up to him, like give it to him when he needs it. So I'm super excited to see the development, and I'm glad like San Antonio, they're playing chess right now. They're going in for the long run. They're not trying to give up all their assets and trade big pieces just to start making an impact right now. They're playing the long game, and I love it. I love it. They have two guys that they're investing in right now, and with CP3 being there, it's going to help out a lot.
For sure. Go ahead, champ.
This reminds me of CP3 going to San Antonio in order to kind of play mentor for Stephon Castle. It kind of reminds me of back in the day when Scott Skiles was at the Orlando Magic, and he was essentially starting over Anthony Hardaway at a certain point until he fully developed. And I can see Stephon Castle being that caliber of player that Anthony Hardaway was, maybe even better. That's his potential at this point in time. So I'm glad that they did that. Plus, hey, we've seen Chris Paul do a lot with a hell of a lot less. I mean, we've seen him go to the playoffs out there in New Orleans. We've seen him go to OKC where, SGA and some of the guys weren't developed as of yet and take them to the playoffs. So, I mean, don't be surprised if, a fully healthy Chris Paul this year, ends up having them sneak into the play-in or even the playoffs. So, I mean, but that's just how I look at it. I see that, CP3 is essentially going to play Scott Skiles to Stephon Castle's Anthony Hardaway, and I'm excited to see it, man. Pass that torch along to another great point guard, especially for the Spurs, man, which is a flagship franchise in the NBA at this point in time. So I like what I'm seeing, man. You're bringing in some veteran leadership. You're teaming him up with Wemby, and look, he's gonna teach those guys how to win a little bit, man.
Yeah,
and you can assume too, with how like close like San Antonio is as a franchise, like how close connected they are with their players. CP3 ain't the only guy he's gonna be learning from. Like they're gonna bring in guys like Tony Parker and Manu to help him out too. So like I'm excited for Stephon Castle. Like I really do believe he's got a really nice ceiling in the NBA. Like I think I think people are asleep right now, but I think pairing him with Wemby, it's gonna do a lot for
Hey,
him.
I mean, people are asleep right now because people thought they made the wrong pick. Like,
no, when he's on the court, bro, man, they gonna
I know. I'm just saying, like, the media did not like that pick for some reason. Like,
they're stupid.
Hey, Louise. I don't want to be biased or nothing, but they got my boy Ingram too from North Carolina, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
San Antonio looking high right now, man. I ain't gonna lie, bro. They looking high.
Yeah, for sure. Karen, what's your thoughts?
I mean, Chris Paul is my favorite player. It's kind of sad that he's going to another young team and try to develop them instead of winning a championship at this point in his career. Honestly, they have a lot of the Spurs have a lot of guys that are kind of lost. Like, Chris Paul is probably perfect for the role to mentor them, especially the guards like Devon Castle, Devontae Graham, like all those guys. And we could also see Wemby in a lot of pick and roll sets. I think it'd be pretty good for his development as well to get even better on the offensive side of the ball. So
right,
it's not really like I still think they're gonna be bad, but I think we'll see a lot of progression this year.
All right, go ahead, Casual.
And what are we doing there? What are we doing there? CP is not. I hope none of y'all are expecting any of this lessons that he can teach Stephon Castle to be on the court. I hope y'all not expecting none of that.
What?
CP is not doing it. His impact's not going to be felt on the court. It's going to be behind the scenes, probably, teaching them the playbook, how to grow a better understanding of how to be a professional a point guard, like from that standpoint. But Chris Paul is not an impactful player anymore. I don't know how else to say it, bro. I don't. He's not moving the needle for progression.
For Wemby though, Casual. That's what I'm saying.
No, Stephon Castle Stephon Castle helps out Wemby as a point guard that's willing to pass. You know what I'm saying? And especially with his defensive capacity.
That's what I said. I said CP3 is going to help Stephon Castle be much more.
Yeah, but it's going to be behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, that's what I didn't say anything about CP3 on the court.
Okay. Because I was like, I'm over here listening. I'm like, bro,
I don't think
he's not. I hope nobody expects this man to do anything on that court. Because if you would have seen this man last year.
I don't think anyone said that. I think
part of that of him is he was pretty much out of his element on that Golden State Warriors team too.
He was doing it. He was doing it for the 2 years before he got traded in Phoenix. OG. Chris Paul has not been the same player since his birthday in 2022 playoffs. The moment his birthday passed during that postseason, he was never the same.
No, you're not lying. I said I never said anything about CP3 on the court. All I said was I'm just happy for Stephon Castle because I'm a UConn fan and I'm excited to see his development.
No. I heard that. I had no problem. I had no problem with that because I'm high on Stephon. I think Stephon Castle has it's him and then probably Ron Holland. Probably has one of the highest ceilings as far as the perimeter defensive impact. I think he showed in UConn that he can use his size and athleticism to impose guards on the perimeter. But that being said, though, I think offensively it just comes down to your skill set. I think you said it best while you were talking about Stephon Castle's passing. He's not a good passer. I think he can grow to be more comfortable in playmaking roles, a la Shea. I think Chris Paul can help him, do that, making reads in a timely manner. But ultimately, the passing skill set is something that he has to either grow on his own, or at the very least, if he does anything, if he's smart, he mimics something that Westbrook did, which is start to forecast his passes or forecast his positioning on the court, so that the passes can be that much more easier. But those are things that I think Chris Paul can help him with. I just said it can't. I hope nobody expects him to do it on the court.
Oh
okay. No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not. But I also feel like Wemby, Like with how Wemby is, I think like passing the ball is like much. Like I think what I'm trying to say is I think Stephon Castle's in a perfect situation to like learn how to pass in his system because you got Wemby and then you got CP3 teach you behind the scenes. That's a blessing. Not gonna lie.
Definitely. All
Like
right, y'all,
like
man.
the playbook the playbook might just say, you see that 7-foot motherfucker over there? Just give him the ball, bro. Just give him the ball.
For sure.
Chris Paul really did have his walk in the sun with Greg Popovich.
All right, y'all. So OKC been doing great this year for free agency, man. I don't know how they do it, but they doing it, man. They got Alex Caruso from a trade for Josh Giddey, and they picked up Isaiah Hartenstein, and they got and they did like re-signs as well. Not only that, they got 15 first-round picks until 2031.
They're not keeping all them picks, right?
Picks until 2031.
They're not keeping all them picks, right? They're not keeping all them picks.
I mean, they got to do it for like an all-star or somebody. And not only that, they did this while coming off a season as the number 1 seed. That's the crazy part. I just want to hear from y'all, man. What's your thoughts on OKC, man? Y'all think they can go to the finals in like a couple years?
Big ups to Sam Preston, number 1, because that guy right there, man. Look, we talk about Jared West, we talk about Jared Krause, we talk about R.C. Buford. The only thing that Sam Presti has not done at this point in time is win an NBA championship. And I believe once he wins a championship in OKC, he's going to be regarded as one of the best general managers probably in the history of the game. For him to build a team in a small market like he has done, and I mean hell of a transition from the big three and the big four and Kevin Durant, Serge, Russell, and James Harden, now to go through a new resurgence with a player like SGA and company right about now, and them have the youngest team at the number 1 seed at this point in time. Man, that is nothing short of spectacular. I think Alex Caruso is going to make a big impact on this team. Don't be surprised if they get to the finals next year, because the thing is, if you really look at it, don't be surprised, because the thing is, if you really, really look at it, a lot of teams right now, they're losing some high-quality players. If you really look at the Denver Nuggets right now, they just lost KCP. Just lost KCP. Yeah. And they're bringing in a guy like Russell Westbrook, which it's been a proven fact. He's not winnable. And that was when he had all of his athleticism. You can just imagine what's going to go on right about now. So I think that they have a real good chance of at least going to the Western Conference Finals next year and have one of the youngest teams. And with this young team right here, I think SGA is going to really, really submit his spot. This is my hot take. I think SGA is going to finally win that elusive MVP this year. So I think that he is finally going to win that elusive MVP this year. But big ups to Sam Presti, man. Look, that is one of the smartest general managers that we have seen. And for you to win in a small market where you're not getting a lot of big free agents, you're not getting a lot of huge names. For you to do that in a small market like an OKC, that's nothing short of spectacular. And my hat goes off to you. I salute you for that, Sam Presti, because guess what? Hey, there was a time, and even when the thin years after Westbrook left and they had Chris Paul, and this team was even younger than it is now, he still was able to build a roster to get them to the playoffs. So the whole time that OKC has been in OKC, they've never been irrelevant to the league at a certain point. And that is a small market. So he's showing these big market teams how to do it for real. And that's through the draft. And hell of a job.
For sure. Luis, you there? Oh, you good?
What is that profile picture, Luis? What is that?
It was dead ass an off guard pick that my sister-in-law took, bro, and I just put it there. But I think this is more of a casual question because he was the one that said OKC was going to win the offseason. So I think you should pass it to him.
Yeah,
pass it to him. You know,
that's the SME. That's the SME. What he do?
Hey man, you know, I'm. You know, I just call it like I see it, y'all, man. You know, like You know,
You sound like LL Cool J, bro.
Shut your light skinned ass up.
You sound like LL Cool J. I bet he over there licking his lips.
Cause Luis, on my video that I just dropped not too long ago, I also predicted that the Pistons, if they were to do anything, they were going to assign Tobias Harris to sort of make that offense make sense. And sure enough, what they do, Luis, went ahead and
They
got
gave him a
Tobias
$50 million
Harris.
deal. That's what they did.
Yeah, man.
Good, Harris.
So, you know, I'm just, man, you just gotta trust me. You know what I'm saying? Like, know that I know what I'm talking about. But you know, I'm gonna leave it to y'all.
All right. Yeah, I will say this though. Shed and Hartenstein, man, I love that duo. I'm not gonna go lie.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't expect Hartenstein to be the one that they would get. I thought Hartenstein was actually going to stay in New York. I thought that they were going to get Valanciunas, but Hartenstein is even better because he doesn't need the ball on the offensive end.
Mm-hmm.
He's a solid finisher. Shit, this postseason he was putting up hook shot efficiency that rivals fucking one of Kareem's postseasons.
Yeah,
so like
they're ugly behind hook shots. Yeah, that nigga
could not miss. He could not miss.
Could not miss. So ugly, but they was going in, and he's actually an underrated passer too. When he gets the ball, he's very decisive. Ugly hook shot, I'm gonna kick it out. So
I love him on the Thunder because his job it makes everybody's job that much easier because Hartenstein primarily only has to be a rim protector, and alleviate that responsibility from Chet. Chet is the versatile roamer that's able to be there whenever Hartenstein goes up against those elite bigs like a Jokic, like an Embiid.
I was about to say,
Anthony Davis,
Chet is happy as fuck right
Chet
now.
Chet is smiling
ear to ear. He ain't got to deal with them big body motherfuckers.
He is smiling ear to ear.
Yeah,
look, the Pelican series that looked a little bit closer than it should have been because he was he was having to deal with big Jonas Valanciunas the whole time. Oh, you ain't got to worry about that no more. You ain't got to worry about that no more because Hardenstein's there. And then adding to the fact that to be quite honest with you, the Thunder could stop right now, never do another signing, not make another trade, and they won this entire offseason because you not only got what you needed, but just for shits and giggles, you went out and got Caruso.
Yeah, for sure. OJ, what's your thought? OJ, what's your thoughts on OKC?
Man. Yeah, I mean,
it's gonna feed families.
I think who was it that was talking casual? Yeah, like because the name's not there. There's not much. He said it exactly how it said. It's very well said. I agree with everything, man. As far as OKC, and honestly, they never needed some big old sexy name, bro. Like the two pieces they got, that's exactly what they needed, and they're much better now. And I think, you know, the experience showed a little bit, and when was it the Dallas they lost? I don't even remember. So I think
they lost to the Dallas Mavericks in 6.
Yeah. Dallas. So and you know, Caruso is gonna help shore up that perimeter as well. And so defensively, they got better in the perimeter and interior. I mean, how many teams can do that in one off season? So that's really good. So yeah, I love everything that they did.
For sure. Ken's not even here. But anyways, we got some got a little breaking news. The Klay Thompson to Mavs is finally official. It's a 3-team deal. Dallas got Klay. Golden State Warriors got 2 second-round picks, and Charlotte got Josh Green. Yeah, Charlotte got Josh Green. But what's your thoughts on Klay Thompson going to Dallas? Y'all think that's gonna work?
It'll work, man. But it's like, is anybody here excited for that? Like, we have to remember, man. Like, what Klay Thompson are we getting, bro? The last iterations of Klay Thompson we've gotten, me personally, not excited, bro. Like, he's almost cooked, man. He's not quite cooked, man.
He is cooked.
Well, there you go. I won't argue that, bro. I won't argue that. So for me, man, it's okay, I guess, bro. I mean, it's the whole trade is just like, I don't know that that's what Dallas needed, bro. Like when I'm looking at Dallas and the fact that they got trounced by the Celtics, they should have got swept. Whatever. They got beat soundly by Boston. What was going through you guys' minds? Was it, oh man, if they had a elite sniper spot up shooter, they would have beat Boston. That's not what went through my mind, bro.
Now,
You know what I'm saying?
what went through my mind was Brandon can drop 10 points on Dallas, bro. That
respectively, I don't think it mattered who they added. They were not beating Boston regardless. Boston was
but that's precisely
Boston
my
was
point,
one of the
though.
best teams of all time.
Don't get it twisted, bro. Like, I don't know about that, but Clay is a good little addition. I just don't know that he changes the needle. Does he move the needle that much?
They are though. They are one of the best teams of all time.
Statistically, they are. Right. I don't feel that way. I still have my reservation. I still think that there's teams that could have beat the Boston Celtics this series had they been fully healthy.
Bro, this is where we have to be careful with
statistically,
stats,
they were. Okay,
let me just say this real quick. This is where we have to be careful with stats, bro, because statistically, the Ravens, and just to use NFL real quick, the Ravens statistically, they were a historic defense. What they did, no team has ever done, right? In terms of like points allowed per games and the turnovers and all, they led everything, bro. But is that Ravens team like those early 2000, like those 07 Giants team, 01 Bucks, and like the 01 Ravens? No, bro, we don't regard them in the same way, bro. But statistically, and the same thing with this Boston team. You guys think that's one of the best ever. I don't look at them like that, bro.
But I didn't say Boston was like a top 5 team. I just said they're one of the best teams of all time.
And I disagree, bro, because to me they don't match the eye test, bro. And
but
again,
that's not something that you can just disagree with, though. Like, I understand what you see. I agree with you. I think from what I see, if you ask me like some of the greatest teams of all time, if you ask me something about the Golden State Warriors, the Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, Los Angeles Lakers, hell, if you ask me about the Michael Jordan led Bulls or the Boston Celtics back in the 80s, I would not refute with you. But objectively speaking, no, they actually are one of the greatest teams that we have ever seen, both offensively and defensively.
I think the problem is that like Jason Tatum is not as big as a name as a guy like, I don't know, Shaq.
It's consistency, Kier. That's what it is. Everybody notices the inconsistencies.
I know, but like you look around like their entire team, they're stacked to the core. They're one of the best teams in the league, like of all time.
Agreed.
I mean, like
they got a slew of POA defenders. They got rim protection. The wing defenders are excellent.
Do you guys think Cleveland had a chance if Donovan Mitchell was healthy?
No, absolutely not. But I think if healthy, I think the Boston Celtics. I think the Milwaukee Bucks, and I definitely think the New York Knicks could have given them much more.
Minnesota would have given them up. Minnesota.
I feel bad for the Knicks. They got injured to the core, man.
And I especially feel bad for the Philadelphia 76ers. I think Philly. I feel bad for Philly just because I wanted to whip their ass. I feel bad for them because they could have beat the Knicks.
I just hate to look at the stats when we're looking at Boston because they literally just went through one of the easiest paths to the finals, and I hate that argument, bro. I'm not a guy that I will never use that argument to diminish their title. I'm not going to do that. But for the sake of this particular argument, bro, like, are you kidding me? Jimmy Butler's out first round, second round, like.
But it's not. But when we're talking about them being one of the. No, it's not even just that. When we're talking about them being one of the greatest teams that we have ever seen, that has very little to do with the postseason. They're one of the greatest teams we ever seen off of just the regular season. Their offensive rating.
So
that means that just means that. That just means that.
My question though: are you saying that they're one of the most efficient offenses in combination with their defense as well? Like, what does that exactly mean? Because
I mean, like, are you asking like statistically, like where, like what exactly are they rivaling history with?
I guess what my question really is when you're using the word greatest, like it's a very heavy term. So are you saying they're efficient? Like, because okay, let me make it a little bit simple. When I say that the 2016 Golden State Warriors are one of the greatest teams, I don't have to sit there and tell you guys why. We know why. We could talk about the 96 Bulls. I don't have to explain. But I feel like with Boston, when I hear you say that one of the greatest teams, I'm like, okay, like why?
Do you disagree? Because there's
they have too many asterisks when it comes to the postseason run.
It's not so much I disagree because of that. That's
matchup.
part of it. But for me, when I hear one of the greatest, it should be evident to me when I'm looking at them. But I'm asking you guys, you know what I'm saying? Like
it wasn't evident. It was to be fair, and I don't know if you were here around if you were watching around that time, but back in 2008, it wasn't rather evident about the Boston Celtics back then. Even with Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Rajon Rondo, and Ray Allen being on that roster, it sounded good on paper, but especially during that postseason, and that was a Eastern Conference that was weaker, but they were healthy, and they struggled against them. They weren't it wasn't rather evident during then.
I think we also got to look.
For crying out loud, the 08 Celtics went to like Game 7 against a losing Atlanta Hawks team.
And Chicago.
Yeah.
And
they
went to 7 against LeBron.
Yep. That is true.
Like,
yeah.
And like that 08 team. Oh my god. I don't know.
Do you guys think it has a lot to do with the marketing? Do you guys this might be a dumb question. Do you guys also feel like a reason he could be questioning it is because the marketing factor of it? Because when Chicago was on top, like they were everywhere. When Golden State was on top, they were everywhere. When
he's saying. No, Luis, what he's saying is absolutely right. The reason why we're not sure about that Boston Celtics unit is because what we actually saw. Because we actually watched those basketball games. Forget about what's on the stat sheet. When we actually watch Jason Tatum, we see every single time he has a chance to put a game away, he chooses to step back at the 3-point line. We see every time Jaylen Brown gets caught into traffic, he ends up taking a tough mid-range shot rather than giving it back to the team and resetting. We see every time that Drew Holiday or Derek White is on the court that they essentially just go to the corner and just sit and wait for Jason Tatum to create something. We see those things. So we watch the basketball games and we're intelligent enough to know that, just because the stats say that you're one of the best 3-point shooting teams of all time does not mean that all of your shots were high quality threes, right? That being said, though, we do still have to acknowledge statistically they were converting at an all-time rate.
Well, let me tell you guys this. This is one of my main issues with this notion that they're one of the greatest teams of all time. In 10 years from now, 20 years from now, when we look back at this team, ain't nobody gonna be like, oh my gosh, this team was just like vaunted, bro. Like we're not going to. And so there's something missing. So my whole thing is this, bro. You could say that they're one of the greatest of all time. And by the way, you're absolutely right. It's hard for me to debate that if you're talking about numbers. If a robot were to look at it, the robot would say, yes, this team. But I'm not a robot. So for me, there has to be some flair, some appeal, something that's more than just raw numbers for me to say that. Because when I look at like some of the magical years, some of the teams that I mentioned earlier had, it's like, oh, damn, bro. I don't have to go to the numbers. It's almost understood. So for me, I don't think we're going to remember it as one of the greatest teams like 10 years, 20 years down. I just don't. They were very good this year. Very good. Maybe even historically good. But it's like when I look back at the season they had, they were good, but I mean, they don't stand out to me, bro, in any way. Other than they were, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that element, bro. That
Tatum glazing us down.
I'm just saying.
I will say this though. I do agree with OJ in the standpoint that the Boston Celtics, if the given next year that the league will be healthy and better prepared to be able to go up against them, I find their road to winning a championship way more difficult. If not in the Eastern Conference, most definitely with who comes out of the Western Conference. You will not have a mishap like what happened this past postseason of Dallas Mavericks making NBA Finals, even though if we talk talent-wise, they should not have been there. I think OKC has prepped themselves to be
I was just
solid
about to that. You think
in
they
the number
against
one
OKC
spot
in the 7?
Yes.
And bro, Mikal Bridges, bro. If the Knicks end up getting Drummond or someone that's
Drummond's with 76ers. Drummond with the 76ers.
Yeah, Drummond's gone.
Oh, he's gone. Okay, well, if they find, I mean, that sucks. But I mean, I think there's a couple other bigs left, bro. The Knicks could legitimately, bro. They could be a problem to Boston, bro. Like with Britain. And by the way, man, the Timberwolves, man. I was really hoping they got Bridges, bro. because that would have been a whole problem if he was out there, bro. So,
I don't think they need him because they got home dude in the draft. What's his name? They got bro in the draft, so you know.
Listen, as far as the draft, bro, I know one dude in the draft this year, bro. That's that tall white boy from UConn.
You said for OKC?
So I'm gonna defer to you guys for the
Minnesota.
draft.
Oh man. Dillingham. Minnesota. You said Minnesota.
Oh, you talking about Minnesota?
Yeah, they just got that.
But Louis,
they traded. They traded into the lottery. They got Rob Dillingham.
Rob Dillingham. Yes, they don't need Mikal Bridges.
I don't know a lot about him, but you guys tell me, is he like a day one starter to where he would be very impactful?
Oh God,
no. Absolutely not.
So long term.
No.
Yeah, it's a long term project.
Okay,
but he got some upside though. He got some upside.
Yes, sir.
John, what's your thoughts on what we were talking about? What they were talking
about? I was about to say you don't even know what we was talking about.
Yeah, I know. No, I know.
My bad, man.
You talking about the Boston Celtics, right?
Yeah,
Paul George. I thought we was talking about Paul George to Philadelphia and how they could hold.
No, it was Clay. It was Clay that we was talking about the Mavs.
Oh yeah, we were talking about Clay to Dallas, Clay and OJ said it doesn't matter.
I put my input on that. I put my input on that, but it was in the background. I don't think he's what he was. I really think that they got him just to say they made a move, to be honest with you. So that's just my humble opinion about it. I don't think he's going to make too much of an impact. Like Casual was saying, when you think about the needs of that Dallas Mavericks team, nobody was really saying, hey, they need another catch-and-shoot type of player. I mean,
it was actually OJ saying that. I want my credit, but yeah.
So,
you're right.
Well, excuse me, OJ.
You good?
It wasn't lie, bro. You don't want to hear what I gotta say about Klay Thompson, bro. I think you already know.
Clay's done. I don't. And to be quite honest with you, I don't know why Klay signing with the Dallas Mavericks is more talked about than them trading for Quentin Grimes. I feel like Quentin Grimes is a much more impactful pickup than Klay Thompson.
Quentin Grimes. Oh man, now that's crazy, man.
I don't know why that's crazy. Why is that crazy?
Quentin Grimes. Hold on. Let me see something real quick. I'm gonna look at something.
He gonna look at some stats.
He was impactful in New York. I ain't gonna lie. When he was in New York, he was.
I mean, they both tall and light skinned. I mean, what's the difference? You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. But all right, y'all. Let's see here. Jason Tatum got the bag, Undeserved. Louis, what's your hate on Tatum, bro?
Bro, he knows
sorry.
He knows what he did.
He's trash.
Hey, he lucky that his father wasn't here this time around. It's all right.
That's right. 5 years, $315 million extension.
Let me say this. I think I might be wrong. But the Celtics had to give him that much money because I think Jaylen Brown is making a little over $300 million.
You gotta pay.
And then Tatum is like, hold the fuck up. I'm the best player here. Hold on. You gotta pay me more. So they're making a combined a little over $600 million combined?
It's not under. It's $600 million.
A little.
Hey, in the great words.
So they're gonna hit that.
And then you also extend Derek White. And then you also extended Drew.
Well, he just got like $140 million, right?
Yeah.
Drew Holiday got paid.
Where they getting this money from? What the?
I don't know.
Guys,
and then the owner might sell the team too. So
what's that apron thing? Isn't there a thing in the NBA like apron?
It's a second apron. It's a second apron that will be on the second apron. They're gonna be filling it soon.
Hey, Casual, you know what they say in Texas? You got to pay like you weigh wet with two pairs of clothes on. So I mean, that's all. That's all that is. You pay.
But here's the thing, guys.
Now you got to pay like you weigh.
Jesus, man.
Whether we agree with it or not, they kind of had to. Like,
I said that. Yeah, they had to. You gave Jaylen Brown $300 million. You got Jaylen Brown, who's making $300 million. That I bet Tatum's agent was like, nah, bro, you way better than Jaylen Brown. If he get $300 million, you can get $300 million.
So they knew they were gonna. I don't know what Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, like them getting the max. That was like understood. I think Jaylen Brown getting the Supermax was a little bit like, I don't think nobody expected that, but Jason Tatum was going to get the max. Like, I don't think that's a question. Drew Holiday and Derek White getting paid what they got paid is the one that I'm like,
More
how are y'all able
so
to
with
do this
Drew,
financially?
especially Drew.
How are y'all
Especially
able
Drew.
to do this financially? Like,
I
how
like
did
Drew
y'all do
though.
this?
I like Drew Holiday.
Ain't Drew's starting to go a little bit on the back end, or he's a little older, right?
No,
Yeah,
he just had his best season.
Hey,
He
he's
just had his
still
best
hustling out
season.
there.
No,
Yeah, he just had
if you
his
had to
best
pick
season
between the
this
two of them, Derek White's better at this point. I mean, and I'm a big fan of
Nah,
Drew.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
not. I think either one that you're like bought in on, you're not wrong. I think both of them are fantastic defenders, and offensively, they just had their best offensive like efficiency numbers we've ever seen from them. So you're not wrong either way you pick. Regardless, Drew Holiday. How are you getting this much money though? That's what's throwing me off. Like, how are you getting paid?
well, his first year was with Milwaukee. They won a chip. His first year with Boston won a chip, so that's why they paid him.
Impact. The impact on
Yeah.
that team.
No,
Nah, Drew.
how?
I'll be honest
No,
with
no,
bro.
no, no,
Drew
no.
Holiday's
He
done
just got
some
paid
things.
for. He just got paid 4 years, 135. And
130.
that's
How old
going
is
in.
Drew Holiday?
Drew
32,
Holiday, if I'm
ain't
correct,
it?
I think is he 32?
I think he's 32.
Oh,
No, he's 34. He's
Let me
34.
check.
Yeah, he's
damn.
34.
Damn,
He's
I
34
even
years old.
spotted him 2 years. Okay.
Going into this next season, he'll start his new contract where he'll get paid 30, then 32.4, then 34.8, and then he has a player option, which likelihood at 37 years old, he's going to
They're
pick
gonna
that up.
run.
But this is 37.2.
Shit.
Golly. Look,
Yeah,
How are
that's-
they doing this? Yeah,
I chose the
How
wrong
money they
profession,
got?
bro. And
You
I'm
like
gonna
I
go
said,
to
How
I don't know
How
how
much
y'all
cap
do
they
it.
have left? What
The
the
crazy thing about the Jason Tatum contract, which is going to be 62 per,
The
you know how
Boston
much of
Celtics
that
are
he's keeping?
the Boston Celtics are $4,774,245 above the second apron space.
Wow.
So long story short, this gonna bite them in the ass like very, very soon. I guess the only thing that I
Not
could
if they keep
look at to
winning.
justify it. Yeah, the only reason that I could justify it is if they just continue winning. But eventually it's gonna get to a point where the way that the second apron works with the new CBA, after a certain amount of time, you get penalized so much you can't even like try to sign people in for vet minimums.
Mm.
They're
Like
gonna
you're
take
gonna
away
have to get it.
stuff,
You're
right?
gonna have to get
What
them.
they
You're
gonna
gonna
take
have
away,
to
like
get
So in other
undrafted.
words,
You're gonna have to get
you telling us they're gonna have to take the consequences in the near future.
essentially like they essentially played this rule out for the Golden State Warriors to penalize them for what they were able to get off with having Steph, Clay, Draymond on the roster and being able to bring in all these other pieces and not be penalized. Now it's gonna hurt the Boston Celtics because the Boston Celtics are paying, as it stands right now, they're paying Jaylen Brown 49.2 going into next year. Jason Tatum is on his final year of his previous contract. Drew Holiday will be on 30. Kristaps will be on 29.2. Derek White will be on 20. And then everybody else is just on minimums.
And they still have decent. I mean, they still got somewhat decent depth too. It's not like they have zero depth like Phoenix.
Right.
And
Yeah,
the
man.
development team ain't bad either. So
Right.
But yeah, I wanted to say Jason Tatum, of that $62 million he's getting for his salary, he's keeping 26 of it. That's wild, bro.
So do you guys think eventually they're gonna have to make a choice between Tatum and Brown?
Oh, of course. That's how this typically always ends. But at least you can have that. The I guess what the Celtics are hopeful for is that they can sit down at a certain point and just say, we got two or three championships. We can live with it. Sort of like how Golden State just let go of Clay.
Yeah.
Sort of the same ideology. Man, we had a good run. We got 4 championships out of this. It's time to say our piece.
And by the way, I don't think they'll ever make a decision between Brown and Tatum. Really, it's going to come down to is how long they want to hold Brown for. Like, that's what I think. I don't think it'll be
They really can't make a decision between him and Tatum now because they've won an NBA Finals with him. Had they not won a Finals with both of them on that team, they would have probably made a decision. But
I didn't mean
now,
no. Maybe in like 3 years, maybe.
And that's if they don't win another one. So I mean, hey, as long as you can win, keep this team together as long as possible, guys.
Right.
Oh,
What's your thoughts on Denver like falling down a little bit? They lost KCP. He went to Orlando. They've been talks that they might be getting Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Which I remember in the past, OJ. You was right about when Russell Westbrook going to Lakers about. I remember you did a video a while back about the fit that it's not right.
Yeah, it was at a gas station, bro. Right when the news came out, bro, I was pumping gas. I did a TikTok right then and there.
Gas.
But
yeah,
I will say this: what you're seeing with Denver, it's a microcosm for something bigger that's happening in the NBA, which is that post the domination of the Warriors and I want to say Cleveland, but really LeBron teams. This is the most parity you've seen in the NBA since before Jordan, bro. Like it's crazy amount of parity, bro. Because look how you guys are saying that Boston's having one of the most, had one of the most dominant seasons, but and they're probably favored by Vegas right now. But are they a runaway to kind of next year? I don't think so, bro. There's just so much parity. It's hard to keep players, bro. And again, KCP was a super valuable asset to Denver, bro. That is a major loss in my opinion, man. And so, and when Lakers let him and Caruso, for that matter, kind of walk, I was like, man, this is gonna hurt him a lot. And so, that alone, bro, it just, to me, I don't see them going back to the finals. And if they get Russell Westbrook, if they somehow get Russell, it's curtains for them.
Yeah, GG's. What's your thoughts, Cash?
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie to you. They're gonna have another losing season this year. Because even if they did make some transactions for them to get right back to top 3 status, again, OKC has separated themselves from the pack. They have versatility. They needed rim protection for them to keep up against teams like the Dallas Mavericks, like the Nikola Jokic led Nuggets, and especially against a paint heavy team like the Timberwolves. They got that with Hardenstein. They essentially turned Chet Holmgren to just like a pure roamer. And then on top of that, they doubled down on perimeter defense, and they got Alex Caruso, who also this past season shot 40% from 3. I think even if the Nuggets were to make the right moves for them to get back into the game, they're not beating OKC as currently constructed. They're not beating Minnesota in a 7-game series as currently constructed. An argument can be made. These niggas might lose to Dallas in a 7-game series. That's how bad it is looking for them right now. They're in a tough position. They're in a tough position right now.
And you said who again? Who again, Cattle? In the series?
Dallas. You said Dallas.
Oh, in the 7-game series, they might not. Wait, you want all the teams that they wouldn't beat in the 7-game series, or just what
it's up to you. It's up to you. I just want to hear that one.
You trying to make this into a show? All right. Peep. The Denver Nuggets, as it currently stands, would lose to the Minnesota Timberwolves in the 7-game series, just like they did this past season. Actually, it might not go 7. They will most likely lose to Oklahoma City with the addition that they just made this offseason. They might not even beat the Dallas Mavericks in the 7-game series because they don't have any rim protection. You just lost KCP, who was it's not even a question. He was your best perimeter defender, and you just lost him for nothing.
Wow.
They might lose. I ain't gonna lie to you. The Lakers have been salivating for this moment. They might lose to the Lakers if they see them again in the 7-game series.
Okay. I like that though, Casual. I like that. That.
Yeah, there's your 15 minute short.
All right, bet. All right, so last topic we'll talk about, man. The Lakers ain't done nothing. I ain't gonna hold you. They ain't done nothing. Max Christie, they signed him for 4 years, $32 million. But other than that, the Lakers haven't really made some moves, which I'm shocked by. LeBron James did say he opted out of his contract. He said he's willing to do a pay cut, but the Lakers haven't been making moves with it. And LeBron might be getting the max if nothing comes if nothing comes. They were talking about getting Valanciunas, didn't happen. Klay Thompson didn't happen. James Harden resigned to Clippers. Champ, the Lakers cooked.
They cooked like my steak last night. So, yeah. Look, man, the Lakers are a dysfunctional organization, man. They breed dysfunction, and they have been dysfunctional since the great Dr. Buss has passed away. My thing is this: since other than LeBron and Ron Artest, in the past 10 years, in the past 10, maybe even 12 years, they haven't had a big, huge free agent come through that door as of yet. Now, as we all know, when Dr. Buss was alive, they had a hell of a lot more free agents that came through and a hell of a lot more big moves in the offseason, even if it was great utility players. So I'm going to just be very, very honest. The Laker organization is cooked, and they need to stop firing coaches because the coaches are not the problem at this point in time. They need to start looking at the front office as far as Rob Pelinka, and they need to start looking at all of these shadow owners who are in the ears of Jeannie Buss. Because the thing is this: when you have attracted little or no free agents, that is worth their salt, I will say. Like I said, worth their salt. That is a problem, especially when you have a market that's known for attracting free agents in Los Angeles. When you have, when the Clippers have gotten more big free agents than you have, that's a problem. That is a huge problem.
But why is that,
although,
why do you think that is?
Because the Lakers are dysfunctional. The Lakers are dysfunctional.
So you're saying that you don't think players want to go play for a team that's dysfunctional?
Say it again, OJ.
So you're basically saying that the Lakers organization is not an attractive landing spot for free agents?
No, it's not.
Because
I know I'm not going to win. I know there's no coaching stability. I don't know what the scheme is going to look like within the next 2 to 3 years. I mean, if you really look at it, look at an interview that Jeannie Buss did with All of the Smoke. They lost LaMarcus Aldridge back a while ago because of that. Because they didn't know the scheme and who they was.
How did they get LeBron? Someone remind me. It wasn't through free agent. It was through a sign and trade.
It was definitely.
They just got him through. Magic was there.
Magic was there. It was free agency. Magic
they was able to get him. But like I said,
I don't remember.
Outside of him and Ron Artest, there hasn't been that huge free agent that was going to make that huge impact in order to get you to a championship. My thing is Howard. This. Yeah, but I'm talking about a big, huge name that's going to be there for years to come. I'm talking about for years and years to come. Outside of those two guys, Ron Artest, LeBron, there hasn't been that huge free agent. You know, when you think about Dr. Buss, you think about Shaq. You think about a lot of the free agents they got in order to go with that Laker team that made them a dynasty. You think about a lot of those great utility players that was on those Kobe Laker teams. That's what you think about when you think about free agents. They haven't had that. So the thing is this: the franchise is in disarray, man. They need to start cleaning house up top, top, not on the bottom, up top. These coaches have been basically scapegoats for a lot of the bad decisions that the front office have been making at this point, including Rob Pelinka. So guess what? There's not going to be any free agents anytime soon. It's sad that when you offer a player like a Klay Thompson $80 million and they opt no, they say hell no, I'd rather go somewhere else. So guess what? You're not doing anything anytime soon.
I will say.
And my thing is, one last thing before I let you go, OJ. The thing is this: with the whole Bronny James situation, just think about this. It's so bad in the city of Los Angeles at this point. They're selling that story rather than winning. That's the reason why they drafted him. People can say nepotism or whatever, which that is true. I agree with that. But they have to sell something in order to attract fans. And that is one great story that they're selling because they know they're not going to win anything anytime soon. So, yeah, that's the whole thing about the Laker organization. Dysfunction up top, instability in the coaching, and instability in the front office with all these shadow owners. It's time for a change. And if you don't clean up your act soon, might be time to give up their franchise to somebody who knows what they're doing. Just saying.
Go ahead, OJ. Then we get the casual.
I think the biggest issue with the Lakers specifically is Rob Pelinka. I mean, think about it. What has he done? He didn't get Shaq. He didn't get Kobe. I believe those guys were before his time. He was Kobe's agent. That's his calling card. He didn't get LeBron. I mean, Magic played a bigger role in LeBron going there than Pelinka. He didn't get AD. That was all LeBron. What has Rob Pelinka done, bro? He hasn't done jack, bro. Like, and so to me, he's the biggest culprit into the inability to attract free agents. I'll also say this, bro. Players right now, they're looking at LeBron James as pushing 40, or I think he's going to turn 40 this year, okay? AD's injury prone. So LeBron's not going to be there in a couple years. And although he had a pretty good season last past season. So it's like, man, what's really there? And to what you were saying, Champ, like every single season, it's a new head coach. So the instability, it's just, there's not really much that's attractive. Now, you mentioned Klay Thompson. To me, I think Klay Thompson, that has more to do with taxes, bro. I'm back in Tampa, bro. I just got back here this week. I was in Virginia the past 2 years prior, bro. And so, and the reason I bring that up, the state taxes in Virginia, bro, they absolutely killed me, bro. And compared to Florida state tax, and again, you wouldn't know unless you're in that position. It's a massive difference. So to me, Klay Thompson, Texas has very tax-friendly structure. LA or California doesn't, bro. They tax the heck out of you. So that plays a role as far as why players, want to go there. So that's something they think about as well. We don't talk about that. Yeah, it's LA. There's Hollywood. There's a lot of opportunities. There's also a lot of taxes as well. So all of those combined, bro, is just like it doesn't make it for that sexy of a destination.
All right, go ahead, Casual.
OG, you gotta let up on the Lakers. I'm not gonna lie to you. Some of this stuff I agree with you. Like when you're talking about the Lakers not being that enticing of a market, because of this dysfunction that is in the front office. I agree with to a certain degree, but I don't think it's that's not the reason that they can't go for these players. The reason why they can't go for these players, or these players aren't buying in, isn't necessarily because they don't want to be there. It's because they know there's only so much that the Lakers can offer them. I want you guys to understand this. The Lakers right now, as it stands, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They have 8 players that's not even playing on the roster anymore that they have to still pay out until 2029. I'm talking about Dion Waiters, Dwight Howard, Wayne Ellington, Jared Dudley, Spencer Dinwiddie, Avery Bradley, Carmelo Anthony, and then now Taurean Prince. That's the battle that they're fighting right now. They're paying millions to those players over time, and so it puts a cap hold on what they can be able to offer the next player. And so going to like the roster that they have, I mean, the stuff that they need are very expensive pieces. Like you don't find versatile wings like a Derrick Jones Jr., Isaac Okoro, like those type of players. They don't just fall on trees. So what they bargained for is something that the Lakers just can't offer them, right? That being said, though, I do agree with OJ. I think that a large part of these blames have to go to Rob Pelinka, because a large part of these mistakes were due to Rob Pelinka. You signing Carmelo Anthony, Russell Westbrook, Avery Bradley, Spencer Dinwiddie, like all of those players to put them on the team, knowing that wasn't the right fit. That sounds like a GM problem. Sounds like you need to learn your personnel. But I don't want OG for you to keep this anger towards the Lakers for their mistakes. It's just one man, and it's not like it's a mistake that like no other team is dealing with. This is a mistake that a lot of NBA teams are paying for because of the new CBA. It's just the Lakers are paying for it in like a more taxing situation, and it's going to get worse for a lot of these teams. The Golden State Warriors, they ain't even felt their wrath yet. Klay Thompson's gone, they still gonna have to pay. Like they're not gonna have the flexibility to bring in a player that can replace Klay Thompson's value. They just have to stick it out. So a lot of these teams that we've known to dominate the last decade or so, they can't get whoever Paul George, they weren't able to get in free agency. They were gonna have to trade for him. So there's a slew.
They talking about casual. They were trying to get DeMar DeRozan. That's what they were.
DeMar DeRozan. I saw that one as well. You talking about the Lakers? The Lakers,
Yeah.
for the Lakers, they're talking about doing that in a sign and trade, and offering him a 3-year extension, so they can get away with that. But as far as signing them outright in free agency, not gonna work.
But here's my thing, Casual. You brought up a great point, right? You mentioned Torian Prince and Spencer Dinwiddie and all these guys. Like, my thing is like, bro, I look at Spencer Dinwiddie. What value are you adding, bro? I'm sorry, bro. Like, the Lakers just have to clean house with a lot of these guys, bro. They have like 3 Spencer Dinwiddies on their team, bro. Like, and again, you like someone like Derrick Jones Jr. To me, I didn't hear any rumblings. And again, they could have attempted, and we didn't hear about it. But I have not heard any, significant talks about some of these plays. He would have been great for them. And obviously they have, what's his name? The oh my goodness, the wing player. He's a very long guy. He wasn't hurt this year. Oh my goodness.
Jared Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt. There you go.
Jared
So
Vanderbilt,
he's a really good type. But to me, the biggest type of player they need is a pure shooter, bro. Yeah, DeRozan helps someone else to create off the dribble and everything else. But I mean, you kind of have that in a couple other plays. But to me, bro, like a Klay Thompson would have been nice. And not even Klay Thompson, but a type of a Klay Thompson. Like, or how about Buddy Hield, bro? I haven't heard any talks about that. Like I don't. They need a sniper, bro. Like
that's
Buddy
the
Hield would be
they
fire.
don't need. I said I can't remember when I said that. I could have sworn I said this on this show. They don't need anything. What they need is some structure. Like, for pig's sake, Darn Ham had them walking around like chickens with their heads cut off.
Mhm.
If you put these pieces in the right place to where they can be able to execute on a consistent basis on both the offensive and defensive side, you won't see this many problems. What they do need is they need a big to move Anthony Davis to his best to his position that makes him his most impactful, and that's the power forward spot. But outside of that, they have wings that can be able to just stand and shoot. LeBron James playmaking, if it doesn't do anything, if he can't do nothing else, he can pass the ball in an accurate basis. Anthony Davis is still the best defender in the entire league. D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves just got done putting forth their best offensive seasons. Like, you're perfectly
but those
fine.
guys,
I think
you don't trust those guys though, bro. Like I'll speak for
because
myself, bro. I don't trust those guys out in the perimeter like that.
You
They're
don't
very
trust them.
streaky.
You don't trust them because of what you saw them in the
But
situation that they
I
were
know the
in.
type of shooters they are, though, bro. I'm not even talking about schemes and X's and O's. I'm not even talking about that for a second. I'm talking about their skill set. The Lakers need at least one guy that he's shooting that ball at least 42 from the field. That's all he's there for. It's like that's not Reeves, bro. That's not Russell. Like, what they have, and by the way, a lot of their skill set, bro, it's redundant, to be honest, especially with those two guys. Both of them, they do the whole playmaking. I could kind of shoot. I'm kind of streaking, all that. Nah, bro. Like, they need a Buddy Hield. And as far as, I don't know, man. Darvin Ham's the whole.
I don't think Buddy Hield is the answer. If anything, I think they should look for a defensive-minded guard to pair alongside one of them. Like, if you trade D'Angelo Russell, you trade for a defensive-oriented point guard. If you trade Austin Reeves, you trade for a defensive-oriented shooting guard. It's one or the other. But yeah, I agree with you.
Someone like a Caruso or KCP.
KCP would be perfect. Probably not a Caruso though. But I mean, regardless, I think that every team in the NBA, as it stands right now, they have a significant flaw. I think outside of the Boston Celtics and maybe OKC now, every team has a significant flaw that can be exposed. We saw the Dallas Mavericks. They have a significant flaw that could have been exposed. They were just able to overcome. The Lakers they're in the same boat as all of those teams. The problem is what those teams have that the Lakers don't have is continuity. You keep swapping out these head coaches and these coaching staffs, thinking that you're actually doing them a favor bringing in these skilled coaches when you're not giving them enough time to implement their ideologies and their defensive schemes. So, like, they just need continuity and an actual head coach that's going to bring some level of consistency to them. They're going to be fine. They don't have a bad roster.
And the answer to that is the podcast guy that's never coached before. Like,
JJ Redick.
You can't make this crap up, man. Like, it's just whatever, man.
Yeah.
I feel you. But all right, y'all, man. That includes the end of the show, man. OJ, any last words?
No, thanks for having me on. I know I had to step out. I had internet issues or whatever, man. But it's always a pleasure, man, talking and chopping up with y'all boys.
For sure. Casual.
Take my video out. Fuck the Philadelphia 76ers.
That's
All right,
crazy.
bet. Your champ. Any last words, man?
Hey, like I always say, always a privilege, a pleasure, and an honor to be here. Thanks for having me, brother.
Oh yeah, for sure. For all the people here, man, make sure y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button before y'all head out, man. For thanks for everybody that's tuning in. For all the but yeah, man. I'll talk to y'all later, man. Wednesday, another basketball show. Might have some more free agency news then. But until next time, we are out. Peace.
Be easy, yeah.
All right, OJ.